really like Tony though.
I do too.
Tony.
We need structures. We need policies first.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No.
It'll work. And then the Ballard, he is just a nice guy. The big old guy. He
I'll
just,
tell you, he's so easy going. He'll be a pleasure to be on.
Greg Kinghouse, he bought the ranch over in Taylor. Big, nice house. Him and Harley get moved in.
He's insured, right?
Yeah, but they're, I guess they got a heck of a fight. As usual with insurance.
You should have
They're not fun. They got all the power.
Oh my gosh.
Just to know what
Hey, what are we
6
doing
o'clock
here?
now. My clock just barely turned.
Right there.
Good evening, everybody. We'd like to welcome everybody to the Holbrook Regular City Council meeting for June 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m. For roll call, everybody is in attendance. We will go ahead and start the night with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman Wood, followed by an invocation by Gloria Montoya. If you could rise to the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening with the City Council meeting. Father, Lord, we just ask you to put your hands upon each and every council member here, Lord, be with them. The agenda before them, Lord God, that the right decisions are made. Father, we just thank you for all you do for us. Continue to lift up our families to you. We lift up our families to you for protection and guidance. Father, our military personnel, our police officers, Lord, our president, and our country, Lord God, and our community of Holbrook. We give it all to you, Lord God. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Gloria. Item number 4, consent agenda. This will be for the May 21st, 2025 special meeting minutes, the May 28th, 2025 regular meeting minutes, and the May 28th, 2025 work session minutes. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to look it over.
I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
We'll second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5, call to the public for non-agenda items.
There are none.
Thank you. Item 6, call to the public for agenda items.
There are none.
Thank you. All right, we're excited about our 2 presentations tonight. We appreciate you guys being here. We're gonna go ahead and start with the Men's Association, and Cisco, if you wanna come to the podium, and then if anybody you want to invite and to join you, and if you wanna introduce who's with you, that would be great, so. And is this microphone on? Can you tap it? Okay, thank you.
So here's, I got 2.
Yeah.
You went to Lisa and
You
she
guys
can
can
make a
pass it
copy.
on. We're gonna put it on the screen.
Oh, yes, the camera's on. Or the Facebook?
Turn the camera on.
Yeah, he turned it on before.
I like, have him come up so I can introduce you guys.
And you also have to speak up a little bit. If you don't mind speaking up just a little bit as well.
Okay, we will.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're here in behalf of the Men's Association, the NCO. I am the president, Sean Metz is the vice president, Tomas is our treasury. And we also got Lou also from Winslow, Charlie Martinez, that are on the board, they're up there with us, they do a lot of the fundraising, a lot of the stuff that we do out there. They are from Winslow, they also have about, 20 total members that are with them from Winslow that help us out as well. Obviously, not everybody can make it, nerves, but we're here. But they're a big asset to the golf course. Lou throws, I say about 6 or 7 tournaments throughout the years, and he's trying to get it to where they make him here in Holbrook. Right now he holds 2 that are your own personal, and then right now he's helping us with tournaments to fundraise for the golf course right now. And we've had 2 total, and they were success, so we got another one coming up on the 21st. So Lou is a big asset, so is Tommy, and we wanna get them recognized. Me and Tomas and Sean Mestes, Robbie Corcoran, Corey Jensen, Anton Padilla, Greg Perkins, Oscar Hernandez, Mike Beeson, all the little men, William Bain, Gary Bain, start of who's on our board. And there's 20 other plus from Holbrook that are on the board with us, that are always out there helping. You guys can see our posts when we're doing stuff. There's a lot of them out there working. I was asked to come and give a presentation of what we do, so it was kind of short, so we're gonna try to figure this out as quick as we can, okay? I will read off of this. I gave you guys two pamphlets. I got one here, but golf course improvements. Let me see if I
Did you
can-
turn it on? On the side?
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Of course, I introduced ourselves already. Enhancements, you know, to make it better, be to where it's at, to where it used to be. That's our goal. Green irrigation, this is just some costs that we have done. We did get an irrigation with the help of the city. The city paid for half, and we paid for half, I'm assuming. We had a special machine come, aerate the greens a different way. We did it, the traditional way was they would poke it, sand it, and drag it themselves. This time, we had a machine come in, and he plugged the holes with sand and water to make it grow faster. Well, we got it done, but we had a snowstorm that same weekend, and it kinda just killed it. So, it actually set us back a little bit, but the surrounding area did not do that, and their golf courses are done. We've also heard of one of the golf courses in, what is that golf course at? Flagstaff, they are completely, they've made other greens, and they're figuring stuff out. They got members dropping, cause their greens are just gone completely.
Snowflake is the same way.
And Snowflake is one of the other ones that's just awful from that last snowstorm.
Silver Creek.
But ours, it just worked out in our favor. So, as you can see, I think this is number 7. Now, not all of them look like that. 7, 6, and 8 look like this due to the fact that they're behind that mountain. So when it's got water, the water stays because the wind does not blow it. All the other ones are pretty rough, and you have to go out there and see it because the wind dries it up fast. So we're lucky to at least have 3 that look just like this. Now, there were greens like this before, they were always like that. When the clubhouse was open and you had enough people working and tending to them, and that's how they look, and that's how they're supposed to be played on. T-box signs, this is something that we did this year. Our T-boxes out there have not been touched in the last 20 years. We decided to have a little fundraiser and actually get these signs done newer and get more businesses
Upgraded.
involved. And it was a success. We've had about 9 to 15 businesses that got it added on. That's what they look like. We were able to raise a lot of money to put back into the course. So now all 18 holes have a sign and a sponsorship on it. T-box maintenance, that was our goal. We gave you guys a 1 to 5 year plan. Our first year is T-boxes and greens and fairways. Right now we're working on T-boxes. We got 3 done, 14, 16, 17, and 18. We've got done with sod, seed, and mulch, and that's what they look like. This was number 16 was our first trial with the sod. We were told it's not gonna catch, and it caught. We also put new sprinkler systems on there. Number 14, as you can see, we put boulders on there. We put an underground watering system, so that way when wind blows, the sprinkler heads the other way and it doesn't get watered. Now it just gets watered underground, and it's been working out. That's how it looks. The little dry spots you see, that's just mulch, because we bought a really expensive mulch to put on there, and it's gonna grow back up so it levels up completely. Facility upgrades, there's still a lot of work to be done to Hidden Cove. The Men's Association is committed to working with the city of Holbrook to enhance the overall course and its facility. So obviously we need your guys' help as well to get it going. Tree trimming benefits, that's a big thing with the golf course. They're growing quick, they hang, when the wind blows, they're falling everywhere. And with you guys got 2 employees out there, it's hard for them to mow and take care of the sprinkler systems and then break up all these trees and trim them. So we're trying to do that. but we also need help from the city, cause we gotta get up higher to trim all these trees down, cause, it's a big part of golf and safety, you know. Clubhouse, that's the big talk of, is when are we gonna redo the upstairs clubhouse? People wanna rent it, people wanna do parties out there. They ask us all the time, well, what do you guys have planned? From what I was told is we're supposed to get together with Andy, mayor, and go up there and see what we can do. We have the manpower to fix it, they're all willing to do it. We got a couple contractors that will volunteer their time and their tools. Right now, we got 3 guys working at the golf course. There's a hole in the ceiling that's been there for the last 15 years from a leak. They fixed it, they're fixing the drywall so we can make it look decent for these upcoming tournaments. So they're actually finishing up right now. And that's why they're not here, and it's Sean and Antone and another guy, but they're fixing that up. And I wish I had a picture I could show you, but I don't. But we always see, this is downstairs. We've got new furniture, we put signs, we put golf apparel up that makes it look like a clubhouse. We got with the city gave us funds to buy material to sell at the golf course, which we haven't done in 20 years. Now we're doing that, and they're selling, it's selling. People are recognizing and they're showing up. They're saying, okay, the clubhouse is open, I wanna go get involved. So it's working, but this is all downstairs. We would like to get it remodeled and move it upstairs, so it looks a little bit better. And that, of course, we're gonna need your guys' help. But, of course, the clubhouse is a big asset with the golf course, so you gotta have a good clubhouse to get people to come. Clubhouse, fairways and greens, and you're gonna get the golfers, no matter if it's a 9-hole course or what it is. This is the course right here, this is your fairways. We're gonna start working on that next after tee boxes. All it is reseeding, plugging, reseeding, putting mulch, and we have it. So that's our next goal. We're gonna have a tournament on the 21st to raise more money, buy more mulch, and see if we can get it going. Weeds, we've got a guy that I met, he has high-dollar machines that sprays weed killer. He did it one time, it cost us some money, we paid for it, but it only kills a certain weed. So we asked him, what can we do? He goes, I have some, I'm gonna charge you a little bit more, and he's gonna go do it actually tomorrow. They're gonna stop water tonight, he'll water it, and it's gonna take care of all these weeds. And in the winter time, he's gonna do it again, so that way next year they don't come at all. So then we'll have to get on top of it, plug, aerate, which we got an aeration machine from the schools. The schools, the entity with the golf course, cause they use it. So any tool or machine that you need, it's automatic, you guys can use it. So now we're using it, and that's what we did to plug the fairways the last time and seed it. We will do that again by the time, I guess, fall comes or winter. And hopefully by next year it'll pop and it'll be green all around. So our goal is not to see any of that. As a golfer, you don't wanna play on that. And that's our next project, so that's our 2-year plan, I guess, okay? Golf carts is also our 2-year plan, we need more golf carts. Right now, we got 10 functional golf carts, we got one that belongs to one of the guys that's Ranger, that we would like to make full-time. But we have a tournament coming up this weekend where we already have 40 players, and we don't have enough golf carts, so then the men's association does have golf carts, so we have to let them use ours. We need them bad, so we can hold these tournaments. Point on the tournaments is, right now with the amount of people we have that are gonna play on a Saturday, that's already $2,400 that the city's gonna make off of one tournament. So the more golf carts, the more people, the more money. And that golf course is steadily busy every day. And now that it's getting improvements, you got more people coming. A lot of people from Winslow, a lot of people from Snowflake. I talked to the guy from Snowflake, he runs their association, they're like, you guys get more golf carts, we're gonna be there every weekend to play. So that's our next goal for year 2 is golf carts. On conclusion, it's all right here. Some of this is written from Robbie, how he feels, but you know, the golf course, and that's what he says, it's a vulnerable community asset. You know, and he said, explained it to them, you know, Robbie Corpus moved here and got this job because of one thing, well, his job, but the golf course is what kept him here. Go ahead, yeah.
Me, myself, the way I look at it, I know it costs money to the city to keep it going and all that stuff. But to me, the beauty about the golf course, this golf course has helped a lot of people in this area. People that are sick, they need help. People at the teams from the high school, junior high, people, they have lost one of their members and they need money to bury him, whatever. That course has raised a lot of money for all these people, they need help. Every time we throw a tournament, that tournament, it has always raised a few dollars for the people that needs it. And that's the way I look at the golf course. That it might cost us money, but also at the same time, we're helping other people that they need help. That's all I can say.
And I will give you guys a little update on our fundraising.
Oh, okay, sorry. And not just for Holbrook, also for Winslow. That's why we team up. That's why the members from Winslow and the members from Holbrook is what we call it, men association, because we're a team. Okay.
So I'll go off of what, it's expensive, we know where we're at budget wise and stuff, but just to do 3 tee boxes, it cost us $6,400. That's not paying for labor, cause we did it all on ourselves. So we get that it's expensive, we get, we're not asking, obviously we do need help from the city, but, you know, we're willing to work with them, and we have been, you know, I will give Randy a big shout out and praise, because, you know, we've been doing this for years and we would never get any help. It would be like, get out of here, you know. Randy has helped us out tremendously, and we thank him, because without Randy, we wouldn't be where we're at now. Obviously, it's little steps that we're taking, but it's big, and people see that. But so far, we have raised about $10,000 in the last 3 months, and we spent $6,400. So we still got a couple more things happening. We got a couple of tournaments we're gonna do, and then whatever we can do to spend it and use it at the golf course, we're gonna do it as fast as we can to get it going, because a lot of people wanna golf, and a lot of people love our town, so that's our goal. So, again, I thank you. You guys have any questions for us, or
Well,
anything you guys would like to see change out there that we can?
well, that could be a whole work session.
Yeah.
I promise them we're gonna have a decent night done. I just wanna thank you guys again, you know, I did thank you guys earlier, but just public, I wanna say thank you again to the Men's Association for all your work, because it does take that team effort with the community stepping in and saying there's a need, and not just asking somebody else to do the work. Cause I was telling you guys before, I appreciate you guys saying, we know there's work to be done and we're willing to step up, and we appreciate it and just need some help. And as a council, we have talked about the golf course many times over our strategic planning sessions, and it is a priority of the council we know it's an asset, and so we're, in our budgets and our strategic talks, we have been talking about it, and we'll be finalizing a lot of that here too, but we do appreciate it. Does anybody have any comments?
I just wanna say that I appreciate all the work that you guys are doing out there. I don't go to the golf course that often, but I do wanna go out there and look at it and check it out. And when you have tournaments, if you need anybody to help, I'm more than willing to go hand out water, take money, whatever. I'm not gonna golf, but I'll go help in some other way.
I don't know if
I can drive better.
we might make you go, we probably will need somebody and have to go.
That's right.
Well, we do have one coming up on the 21st. That's for us, for the Men's Association. We would like to see you guys out there and, you know, get to meet everybody and, you know, give
And
a
what
helping
time is
hand.
it on the 21st?
So we're gonna start off
No,
at,
it's a different days, but this month we're gonna do it on the 21st.
so we're gonna
What
start
time?
off at 8 AM, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna,
What's that?
gonna check in at 8 AM and tee up at 9.
So check-in is at 8 AM, we're gonna tee off at 9, so between 8 and 9, that's when we do all the sign-ups, we take money. So if we can get a couple of you guys to come help Lou, it would be great. That way all the other guys can do, they gotta do and, set up stuff and go from there, but yeah, we do need help.
If I could just, say, the guy from Winslow, Tommy and I, we play there a lot. There's probably 20 members, paid members from Winslow, and that's not counting the guys that come over there and play randomly, but there's 20 of us that pay, I pay 6 months in advance in the summertime. And, we have carts, got our own cart barns. The first tournament that I put on for these, to raise money, we raised $5,100. One guy from Winslow donated $1,000. He asked Tommy and I not to mention his name, he wants to be anonymous, but he don't play as much as Tommy and I do, but he donated $1,000 to help with this deal. And the thing that he said about carts, I throw 2 of the biggest tournaments that Holbrook have had in a long time, going on 4 years now. And I told him I was gonna move it to Snowflake because I don't have carts. I have to turn people away. I get 18 teams every tournament, 54 players, and I have to have carts, and I don't have enough. And I have to turn people away. But what we're doing now, getting this course in shape, I haven't told Bob this yet, but I'm gonna keep it here. I'm gonna keep the tournament here, just because of all the work we're doing, getting it in shape. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. But it sure would be nice to have more carts. That's all I'm gonna
And
do.
going out, you guys know who Bob is? Have you guys met Bob? He's a part-time employee, correct?
Yeah, I was gonna say Bob, Hawaiian Bob?
Okay, Hawaiian Bob.
Hawaiian Bob.
Yeah.
Hawaiian Bob is a big asset to this golf course. We are blessed to have him show up I don't know where he showed up, he just showed up. So our main goal is, like I said, from our we were trying to get him to get full-time. It'll be a big asset, cause he knows golf courses, he knows how to run them, he knows what the grass needs, he's one of those guys. He moves our tees, he moves our pins every week. Moving your pins every week for a golfer, that's a big thing. So we gotta give him kudos, and maybe one of these days we can figure out a way to get him on there full-time, cause we need him, like now. But again, thank you, we appreciate you guys having us come in, and again, thank you to Randy for all his help as well.
All right, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Oh,
All
is this
right.
go-
So. Give it a second there. All right, we want to thank the Men's Association for coming in for that presentation. So, we would like to now turn the time over to the Navajo County Fairground Board. Chairman Rusty Despain, and I know we've got Mina, I don't know if she's here to support you, or if you're gonna make her get up and talk too, but turn the time over to you, thank you for coming.
Mayor, council.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you. Mayor, council, come before you this evening, supporting Navajo County Fair, and, being that we're a partnership with you, we believe that it's, always good to come in and check in with you. Navajo County Fair, besides putting on the fair, we host 68 additional events. In 24, the fair generated over $878,000 in direct revenue, and an estimated of 3.1 to 4.6 million in regional economic activity, drawing 57,000 people throughout that year. For the first time, since I've been on the fair board, we actually have an economic impact study that's before you, that's a regional study. And a lot of those a lot of that work I have to commend Mina for doing, just because it's been my second year back as president, and I look at the fairgrounds a little different in an aspect of it is a public place, and I believe the public funds need to go back into the facility and also put on the events. So my concentration has been to basically clean back up the fairgrounds, brighten it back up, make some changes that needed to be done, and to also search for funding that's outside of our town. Because to me, we keep drilling our taxpayers every day. you know as well as I do, we get tired of taxing. And so there's revenues out there that, that other people are getting that we're not. And so this year, we have applied not only for the congressional grant, but also for state grants and the Brownfields grant. We're in limbo right now. We're waiting on all three of those grants to either mature or not, but we got our fingers crossed. A lot of that money is directed directly towards our arena and our grandstands. If you've sat in our grandstands in the last 30 years, you know how they are deteriorating, even though they're historical. They're getting where they're not safe. So State Fire Marshal basically came in and gave us 2 years. It's 2 years now. He gave us 3 years to basically make some changes and to bring those up to code. By doing that, it's gonna take anywhere from $5 to $6 million basically to upgrade our grandstands and bring them up to fire code. Also, the events that we hold in the arena, including the fair and rodeo, we can't hold an event in that arena and sell enough tickets to pay for it. So how do we do that? We have to have more seating. So by getting more seating, we applied for the congressional grant, which hope we can redo the grandstands we have and actually add 3,800 more seats. And by doing that, it makes us more self-efficient. So when we actually hold the fair or hold an event, we can actually sell enough seats to actually pay for that event. Instead of this struggle that's always us entity coming to your entity, going to the county entity, going to the governor, and basically asking for money to keep us in operation year in year after year. So that's our goal, is to basically one day to be totally self-efficient where the events that we hold will actually pay for themselves. By doing that, it's not only help us, but the county, but the city, and also help us also strive to make those events bigger and make our economic impact actually bigger. With that, we do account on the city contributions that you guys give us on a yearly basis to help us not only with our facility, but most of that goes directly into our employee pay. And we count tremendously on what the county and what our governor gives us. Now, for the last 2 years, there might have been some rumor, but it's not rumor, it's actually true. We count so much on our governor's fund once a year. If our governor cuts our governor's fund, it basically put us out of business. And not only us, but a lot of small fairs throughout Arizona. So every year, like right now, we're basically on the bubble of wondering whether we're going to continue our fair for the following years. We have basically set ourselves up knowing that if we do not get our governor's fund, that yes, you will still see a fair, but it will be a very downsized, probably not a rodeo, probably very downsized in things that actually make us money during the fair instead of costing us. And unfortunately, our rodeo costs us money, it doesn't actually make it, once again, because of seating and so forth. So with that, you have any questions?
I was gonna ask, how many does it seat now, and how many will it seat after the 3,800?
So it sits anywhere about 2,200 right now in the whole facility, and that's with our bleachers off to the side and any additional seating that we can. We've been working really hard to make some skyboxes to expand in areas that are basically our wasted space. So we've been working on those areas.
56.
38.
We're gonna add whenever they retrofit the grandstand seating, that'll be 1,700. And then the new bleacher system will add an additional 38. So it's gonna be a little over 5,000 seating that we'll end up with. So it's gonna be double the capacity that we have now.
Are you, go ahead.
No, thank you, you answered my question.
Could you go back, Rusty, are you gonna do like the Taylor program and go back with aluminum seating?
It's actually the same company that came in and bid, not only gave us a bid, cause we had to have those for our grants, but also give us a plan. And it does wrap basically the north end of the arena, it's basically a wraparound system, so yes.
Okay.
So with that congressional grant, you'll see a lot of change, not only in the open class, but we'll bring that to a sprinkler system, an alert system, fix the outside wall, new roofing. So that whole building from there to our VIP and our ticket box office, it'll see a lot of change. It'll be upgraded. Just with that, the fair promotes Holbrook in so many ways. Not only in our social media, our local and national radios, print media, television, national broadcast, web and emails, and our rodeo queens. One of our programs is our rodeo queens, and they travel basically throughout the state of Arizona every weekend, pretty much, promoting our fair and the city of Holbrook. So I just want you to know that we try very hard to do our part as far as promoting Holbrook and what we can bring to it. I challenge you guys to, yes, definitely look over the economic impact. It's surprising to me, the numbers in there, and what it actually generates. Just $1, what one person generates just by coming into the town, and then from there on throughout the county. I will tell you that out of our 68 events, probably only 5% are probably attended by locals, besides our fair. So all of the events throughout the year, besides the fair, if you come to the fairgrounds, whether it be a barrel race, roping, quinceañera, whatever, normally 5%, if you look in the grandstands or around, are only local people. So the people that are coming to the fairgrounds on a weekly basis are out of, I call new money, because they're money that's not in Holbrook.
Great. No, we appreciate what you guys do for the city of Holbrook. It is an asset to Holbrook. And I know a lot of times in the past, people are like, well, why are you spending so much money for a one-week event? And it's not a one-week event. Like I said, 68 events, that's amazing. And so we appreciate you, and I know it's a lot of hard work. I only volunteer every now and then down there, and whew, you guys wear me out. So, then I gotta go. Did you have a comment?
Yeah, you said there are 68 events. Can you tell me for the month of June or month of June and July, what events you have coming up?
July, you said?
Yeah, June and July, or whatever's left.
The summer?
June right there. So.
Good question, Arsenio, because we skipped July.
Oh, I think it's right there.
But I think it's,
Yeah, it's gonna be, cause this year it's gonna be pretty much these.
When is that youth?
my apologies, but I'll get you a calendar.
I just wanted to get a rough idea of how many events that you have a month, and on the weekends.
During the summer months, like right now, our fairgrounds is booked. So we basically, sometimes like this weekend, there will be actually 3 events being held at the fairgrounds, all in different areas.
This weekend?
This weekend, right? So
Yes.
we have Michelle's Barrel Race in the arena, we have a poultry, summer camp, and we have,
There's the month of June. You wanted June, right?
Yeah, June and July.
Yeah, there's the month of June. That's all of them right there.
So Mina, could you do this? Mina, can you send a calendar to Randy? And we've got a communication guy that's helping us out, put things out on Facebook and things like that as well, on our calendar for our website.
sure,
Can you share your calendar and we'll add it to ours?
we will. Arsenio, I'll get
Yeah.
you a calendar.
Okay, yeah, and then, cause you said that majority of them is not community members, like local community members, citizens. So that chicken, what'd you say, it was a poultry show?
Yeah, we
I
have
know
a
we
small
have-
stock event that's this weekend, which is pretty much, most of
County.
all of them are South County.
The same with that with the barrel race?
The barrel race is gonna be pretty much, you're gonna have off of Navajo Nations, Snowflake, and Show Low. And then a few of them from Pine Top, and then they've got some that come up from Prescott, and then they've got some that come up from Payson.
So, like I said, like 5% would be actually locals from Holbrook and surrounding this area. I consider Holbrook, Joseph City, Sun Valley, this immediate area, usually around 5%. And that's even with our livestock camps. I know the mayor came down to our livestock camp last year. We had kids from the four corners, basically, of the state, all the way from California. And we probably, out of 300 kids, maybe 20 of those were actually from Navajo County.
Yeah, I stopped and talked to quite a few of them, and they were from Phoenix and a couple from out of state, so.
And is there a cost for each of these events for people to go?
This weekend, there is no cost. So the barrel races that you are seeing mainly every weekend, or the ropings, those are free events. Now, some of the native rodeos that's been coming in, Leonard Williams and some of those, they do charge at the gates to help pay for those events. And so, it just depends on the event that's happening for the weekend. Like last weekend, we had
Kyle Little,
Kyle
Team
Little's
Open,
Team
which
Open.
was off of Navajo Nations.
Yeah.
And it was, pretty much most of them, pretty much Leonard Williams is the only one that charges. So I would say 90% of them are, 95% of them are free.
So
There's no entry, there's no admission.
So all the events that take place down there, a lot of them, you don't make any money off of those?
We
All
just
of
make
these?
facility rentals.
Okay.
So if I came with a child for a 4-H event, we'd have to pay for the stall?
Oh, no. If your child is in 4-H and they come down, cause on June 21st is the 4-H horse achievement. If they come in and say they do a 2-day event, those 4-H kids don't pay for stalls. But now the out of town barrel racers that come in for the barrel race, if it's a 2-day event, those barrel racers pay for stalls. But none of the 4-H kids, they don't pay for stalls. Like when high school rodeo comes, they have to pay for stalls.
And so there's kind of a misconception of 4-H. 4-H in Navajo County basically is very unfunded. And so clear back in Bob Roscoe days, I don't know if anybody knew Bob Roscoe. Clear back in Bob Roscoe days, basically the university said, we can do the 4-H program nationwide, but we can't do committees for each entity, basically. So at that time, basically Navajo County Fair basically took over junior livestock, which is the 4 species of sheep, goats, and steers. And so junior livestock, basically Navajo County Junior Livestock is basically under the umbrella of Navajo County Fair. That also goes with the horse achievement. That's why it's called HAC, horse achievement. That's actually under the fair. We actually have a representative that sits on the board. That's their area. So even though they're doing a 4-H program and they're doing that program, that work through the university, we are the ones that actually are holding those events. So if we have a HAC 4-H event or something like that, we're pretty much giving them the facility because they're incorporated under us.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Cause you sure want that to continue, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely, that's why we took it over. So, junior livestock is basically, it's under us, but it gets kinda technical because they're actually a 501c3, and they control their own money through the auction and all of that, so they kinda control their own money, but we overlook them and supply them the facility to hold their show.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming.
Well, I do wanna give you guys an update. The AFA, which is the Arizona Affairs Association, in conjunction with the IAFE, which is the International Fair Association, they are paying for a statewide economic impact study of all the county fairs on the impact that all county fairs have on the state of Arizona. And they will soon as that study is done, then they will give us a copy of that study, which is them trying to prove to the governor that county fairs are important to local communities. And, so, whenever we have that one, then we will definitely give you that one, cause that's gonna be a statewide, which is gonna also show Navajo County Fair's impact in with all the county fairs' impact on the state of Arizona.
That's great. No, we look forward to that. All right, well, thank you again, guys.
You
A lot of
guys-
good
thank you guys
information
very
and,
much.
Thank
We
you.
truly appreciate all
Thank
of
you,
you.
and I'll get you that calendar. I'll get it all for you
all
guys.
right,
I'll-
thank you. We appreciate that, so.
Yeah, thank
All right, you guys have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
you. Hey, do you guys need help on the grant, or it's already submitted?
So the county, grant writer's been helping us tremendously, so far, so, anything that I would use from you guys would be great.
Yeah, because there are some grants that are in watching that are coming up that they won't let us apply for, but they'll let the city apply for, you know, on our behalf, or they'll let the county apply for. So as soon as we get those, then I'll definitely
Let me know.
get them to you guys and stuff so that you guys can do it, cause we wanna try to get as much as we can without going, you know,
Yep.
giving you guys a break too.
Okay, we're happy to help where we can, so.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right, item number 8, new business. This is for resolution 25-06. Ordering and calling a special election for November 4th, 2025. For the submission of proposed amendments to the city charter to the qualified electors of Holbrook. So I'll go ahead and read just a little bit of the background on this. Said the Charter Review Committee convened to review potential amendments to the city charter and provided its recommendations to the city council. The city council wishes to amend certain provisions of the city charter. It is necessary for the city council to submit the proposed charter amendments to the qualified electors of the city for approval or disapproval as required by Arizona Constitution, Article 13, Number 2, and ARS 9-283. Financial implications of the cost of election through agreement with the Navajo County. Our alternatives are don't call an election, the charter stays the same. So the request for council is to approve the resolution 2506, calling for an election for proposed amendment to the city charter. So attached in your packets tonight is the actual resolution. If you look at there is, I'll read it by heading in a minute. I'll go ahead and do it now. Resolution number 25-06, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Holbrook, Arizona, ordering and calling a special election for November 4th, 2025 for the submission of proposed amendments to the city charter to the qualified electors of Holbrook, directing publications as required by law, designating the place and time to accept arguments for and against the proposed charter amendments, establishing the conduct of elections, setting forth the voter requirements, designating the election format. Did I miss one? Requirements, designating the election format and voting system, and establishing canvassing, recording, and reporting requirements. So if you look at that, there's multiple sections in here. I'll just highlight a few of them for now. I'll just read them by heading. How's that? Section 1 is the proposed charter amendments, and these will be attached. We'll look into this in just a minute. Section 2 is order and call for the election and ballot. Section 3 is publications, the informational pamphlet. Section 4 is arguments, notice, and submittal. That will have a public hearing for August 6th. Or the city hereby sets the date of Wednesday, August 6th, at the hour of 5 o'clock is the deadline to submit arguments for or against the proposed charter. Section 5 is conduct of election, contracts, and expenditures. Section 6, deadline for voter registration and early voting dates. Section 7, Voting Rights Act and Spanish translation. Section 8, designating election format. Section 9, canvass of election and reporting. So that's the resolution, and it kind of goes through what we're having to do. So basically what we're doing tonight with this resolution is calling the election, because you have to do that by law, and you have to have a certain timeline done by. So we'd be calling this for November 4th. It would be a mail-in only ballot election. And then what they would get are all these amendments. So as you know, we had the Charter Review Committee. They went through and made their suggestions. They brought it to the council. We as a council did a work session on it, and we went through each of the different, proposed, suggestions from the charter review. We've also gone through our city attorney. They've made sure everything was legal and right. We went through as a council and, decided what's appropriate to be on the charter versus what should be a code change, things like that. So this is everybody's feedback from the charter review committee to the council, and then the recommendation off of the attorney based on the direction we were leaning. So each of these, so if you look at each article, 1, 2, 3, so if you look through it, this will tell you what the charter had originally. If there's a strike through, that would mean we would be striking that, asking the electors to strike that from our charter. If it's in bold, that's the suggested new, wording. If you look at page 3 here of Exhibit A of Article 2, the council, like section 2.03, they crossed out election and put reserved. And they cross out this, and there's a couple spots on there that we cross it off, like the city treasurer on 4.03. And basically saying, hey, we're reserving those numbers, those numeric numbers, so it doesn't mess up all the chartering numbers throughout. So it reserves it, but it's actually omitting everything on there. For example, that it says the first election of the office of mayor and council members under the terms of the charter shall be held in 1995 and every 2 years thereafter. Well, with the change going from those odd years to those even years, that makes that one obsolete. So that's what the suggestions are here, is the actual charter revision. So if you keep going though, so that was, Exhibit A. If you go to Exhibit B, that's the actual ballot language. And so, Lisa Hunt will be stepping in here in a minute to answer any questions too, or clarify anything that were modified. But if you look, these are the actual proposals. And so there's 10 of them. So the voters actually have to vote on each of these propositions. So you've got Proposition 438 all the way through Proposition 447. And they would vote either yes or no to change or keep it the same.
Does the public get an opportunity to
Look through these first. So there'll be a,
through these and confront us?
yes, and that's what, in that resolution, that arguments for and against. So there will be a pamphlet. So I'm gonna turn the time over to Lisa for a minute to kind of go through the process a little for us.
Besides that, will they have the chance to come and publicly oppose or support?
They actually need to put that in writing, and I'll include that in the publicity pamphlet.
Okay.
They have until, what was it, August?
Yeah, there was one I.
August 6th.
August 6th.
Wednesday, August
To
6th
do
at 5
that.
p.m.
And then we'll put out the publicity pamphlet, we'll mail it to all the households, or the county will mail it.
Will you walk us through the whole timeline real fast here?
So, right now, if this does get approved, then we'll go ahead and, then we've called the election, and I'll start working with the Navajo County. And they'll start making the ballots, and I'm gonna start working on the publicity pamphlet. I'll post, I have a paper that the attorney gave me that I'll post on our website, inviting people to make, to say whether or not they're for or against and why they're for or against. And then once we, after August the 6th, was it? Then we'll
August.
go ahead and do the publicity pamphlet, get that out. And then when it comes time for the election, I don't have the calendar with me because I didn't know they were gonna be doing this, but, they'll go ahead and mail out ballots to all the registered voters, and they can vote on each one of these propositions.
But will the public have an opportunity to come and express their concerns vocally here? I guess.
You can always do a call to the audience.
Call
Yeah,
to the public.
Public hearing, I don't think we are gonna set one, or are supposed to set one of those up. But they can always come in for the call to the public.
Okay.
They're always invited to that.
So when you said you'd put it online,
On our website, yeah.
okay, is there gonna be another way that people are gonna be aware of this? Cause a lot of people don't go
Well-
online and look at that stuff, so I think
That's
we
what the
need to
attorney
get it out
advised me
there
to
too.
do, so I was going under the attorney's advisement.
Will the
And I
pamphlet be
agree
a
with
mailing?
it, but can we not send
We
something out to
can
them?
put it in the newspaper as well.
What about a mailing to each
Oh,
of the?
well, if we want to, we could put it on our water bills.
Well, I think that
Yeah.
we should, because I think we need to reach as many as we can, and not everybody looks online. They
Right.
just
I
don't.
I think that'd be good. Well, a
Well,
lot of people
she's already
don't
got
get
the
one.
form set up, so we
Right.
should be able to do that pretty easy.
I was gonna say, the county sends out a notice to everybody that the hearing's upcoming, they send them out a sample ballot,
Okay.
like they do for every election.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Do we
yeah.
have an idea what the financial implication could be for to call an election in an off year?
It's
Um,
we have an agreement with
so-
the county.
Yeah.
I don't know the
Okay.
exact numbers, but there is also, the school district is also gonna have things on the election, so some of the costs will be split with the school district.
was gonna do.
And
that
it's
mail-in
cheaper on the
ballot.
all mail-in as well, so it won't be more than $6,000. I put 6 in the budget, but it probably won't be more than that.
Okay. I think we all discussed this at length before. I think it's a good idea to do this. I just wanna make sure that my vocal neighbors.
They have a chance.
They have a chance.
Yeah, and people are gonna, question some of these
Right.
in here, and it's nice that, they can always come in and talk to Randy or talk to me.
So it'll
They talk to
open,
me.
and then the last day, the deadline is gonna be August 6th.
For the arguments.
For the
the
arguments.
ballot.
Okay.
Cause you know, sometimes you get a ballot, it'll say arguments for and against.
Yeah, and those are listed, they're printed up in the ballots, correct?
Correct.
No, they're printed up in the publicity.
Or,
ballot.
okay.
Yeah.
But
Which
then-
every household will get a copy of that.
And
It has a
people
registered
can express
voter.
their concerns all the way up until election.
Correct.
Yeah.
And how long overdue has this been?
I've worked here for 18+ years and we have never had an update.
So we
Never had
probably-
That I can remember, a charter update like this.
We've had one, and that was for
The
the one,
PD.
the PD, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
there had to be a-
Oh, yeah, just
Yeah.
the PD one,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah. But to go through a thorough,
Yeah.
review with the, charter.
Yeah, that was one
18
item,
years.
that was one
Yeah.
little minor
Wow.
item.
And that charter committee
all
that
just
was put
together.
together, they did a lot of
They did,
work,
they did.
and
They
they
did.
met a lot of
They
times.
did a very good
and-
job.
and
Brian
really went
Smithson
through
days,
that
I don't
kind of
think
stuff.
any of that ever happened in those days either, so
It's been
I'd
a
say
while.
it's more than
Yeah, that- you
20
mean that we each had a-
or 23.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
so that's the resolution that we're voting on tonight. So, hopefully you guys had a chance to go read through everything. It was good reading, so I read through it. All right. So, I read the resolution by header and then the subtitles, the subheadings. Is anybody requesting me read the whole resolution?
No.
Okay, so, all right, we'll open the floor for a motion.
I move, sorry,
Go right ahead.
I move that we pass resolution 2506 as written.
I'll second it.
All right, any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll go to a roll call vote.
Councilmember Black,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nielsen,
Aye.
Councilmember Pacheco,
Aye.
Councilmember Pat,
Aye.
Councilmember Tafoya,
Aye.
Councilmember Wood,
Aye.
Mayor Smith.
Aye. Motion passes, thank you, this is a good step, so thank you guys for all your hard work as well.
We're all out of order now.
All right, item number 9, old business, discussion and possible action. So A, draft general plan. So if you look at tab 4,
Yes.
background and discussion. This item is for discussion and review only. The purpose of this agenda item is to provide the city council with an opportunity to review and comment on the latest draft of the 2025 general plan. The draft incorporates input and edits received from several members of the council as well as additional staff recommended changes. So, as you know, we've been working with Kit Batten as a consultant. She's being paid through our grant that we received from APS, SRP, and TEP for those cold community grants to help us finalize this and get it all in order. So these aren't all the changes, so we know that. So what she did, she sent 2 different copies, if you look at it. So the first copy says a track changes version of the 2025 general plan. This will show everyone what changes were made. Each of the city council members should review their section and let Kit know if any changes were made that they do not approve of. So, the way you're reading this first one, she's gone through and made it with all the corrections and changes that she has so far. Now, she's still open for it. She is on vacation for the next week and a half. But she wanted to get this to us so we can start reviewing it, make sure she's on the right path. So this, by any means, is not the final edit. This is just a, hey, get it started, or we go in the right direction. So.
This is this part right here.
Yeah, the first one, yep, the one that has the little hazard sign on the front, so, the little exclamation mark on it.
Okay.
So if you read through that, it's got some of the corrections, like I went and checked mine, like one of mine, cause I was doing like mine, so I checked some of the objectives, and it's like, yeah, she's got the corrections that we talked about and the right verbiage, but I still need to go through all the sections too. So, read through it, focus on yours first. But that doesn't mean that's when your homework is done. So this is why we're not doing a big review or planning on this
Like,
tonight.
I
This
hope
is,
we're not going through
I'm
this.
just, yeah, exactly.
Can we share these with
Tyler.
our committees?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
Yeah, we encourage you to share with your committees, things like that. So the second one on here is the original one. And so, now we do have a PDF version of it. If Lisa, on the, you sent the PDF one, if you look at the PDF one, there's notes on the sides of them. So, they don't print out though. So if you want them your electronic version, if you pull these out, you'll see some of Kit's Batten's notes on the side. So if you have any questions, or she may have questions for you,
So
go ahead, it's on that side.
This is the original, this is the updated.
The
No,
first
this
one.
is-
This is the updated.
one, yep.
Okay.
The one with the exclamation.
The one with the exclamation mark, that's the update, the most up-to-date one. The one behind it is the old one. Well, an easy way to find out, if you turn to the very first page, you'll have your name on the first page of the first one. If you go to the second one, it has Brian Smithson. So that's a good way to find out which one I'm looking at, so.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so if you're like, which one am I on, see if your name's on it. So this is just a homework assignment agenda item tonight. So, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help any council members with, working with their committees, things like that, so. We got some, oh, yep, thank you. See, Mike's already found a correction. We've got Councilwoman Church instead of Councilwoman Wood, so good call already, so. So Kit was great. I didn't know we were gonna do this at first. I literally gave her my chicken scratch notes on the side of my thing, and I scanned it to her, and then we went through it, and part of that was like, I have no idea what I wrote. You know what I mean? But we were able to figure it out afterwards. We were able to get everything into context, so it was great. Cause I had my other more defined notes, but she just took what I did too. So she's really good at just walking through whatever note you have to start with and starting there, and then you guys can start refining it from there, so.
I too was impressed. She like walks you through it.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to find a word. She's this word? I'm like, perfect.
Exactly. Yeah, she's, she is a technical writer, so she is good with the words. So, anyways. All right, any questions? Fantastic. Okay, so that was just a discussion only. Moving on, look at that, we are doing good, guys. Moving on to item number 9, the 25-26 tentative budget. I will go ahead and read the background discussion on that. That's tab 5. The council has had several work sessions to discuss the 25-26 budget and to incorporate council priorities. The final revenues from the state and discussions of raises have changed this tentative slightly since the second preliminary budget. This budget consists of $29,681,465, of which $16,132,227 would be grant funds if the city is successful with applications. General fund would be set at $7,598,604. Financial implications: adopting the tentative only sets the final number and not to exceed amount. We can make additional changes to budget line items, but the bottom line is set. Total budget can be decreased. So tonight, we're hoping to approve this tentative budget. We only have a little bit more time before we can do that by law. The nice thing, so as a reminder, we are just setting that final budget. But like we said, then don't think you're off the hook with more strategic planning sessions and work sessions. I know how much Vice Mayor Nelson likes those. So what we'll do is that's our baseline. This is what administration is gonna go off of, but that doesn't mean we still can't hey, make sure our priorities and our strategic plans are in line with our general plan that we're working with. They're hey, our general plan says, and our committee says, this is important to us, make sure we have that money in there. But, like Councilwoman Pacheco mentioned a couple weeks ago, it's I wanna make sure as we're doing the general plans of these budgets that we're actually getting the projects done that we want to. And so, so tonight's not that night to work through every, line item to make sure all those are. We will have some time to do that too. This just sets that final budget line item. However, with that said, if there is any concerns with this number, now is the time to talk about that. So, I will open the floor for questions.
Just a quick update, I did go back and, the final numbers from the state, came back a little bit less, so I did have to drop the numbers down a little bit. And then I did go through some payroll and kinda did some preliminary, adjustments based off of the recommendation on not everybody getting a raise and trying to work some of those things out.
Thank you. Alright, anybody have any questions before we open the floor? Alright, I'll go ahead and open the floor for a motion.
I move that we accept the 25-26 tentative budget.
Do we have?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Do you wanna text Alan? Alright, hearing none. All in favor say aye. Oh, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any objections? Motion passes. All right, thank you. Okay, we're moving on to item number 10, summary of current events. I wrote a few things down. First, I want to do a big shout out and thank you to the committee that put on the Old West Fest and Route 66 Festival. It was a great success. We had over 77 entries in the car show, and they said that's even going to grow next year too. And having not had one for, I think we figured 7-8 years since the last one, we were excited to do that. And there, we already met yesterday to pick next year. So next year is going to be May 29th and May 30th. So go ahead and put it on your calendars, because next year it will also be the 100-year celebration of Route 66. So we expect it to even be bigger and better. But I do want to give a super big shout out though to Cindy Tafoya with the Chamber, Adrian Tubbs and Kenny Larson. And also Macy Wilkins jumped in there too. But these guys really were the driving force behind it. And I have never met or worked with a calmer crew. They were the calmest committee I've ever worked in. But they were workers. So we want to just thank all of them for doing that. And there was a lot of volunteers and other volunteers that helped put it on, because it does take a lot of volunteers to put it on. So I don't want to dismiss them. I don't know all of them, so I won't name them by name, but there was a lot that came out. And also from our city staff, I know Cindy Foy said a big shout out to Frank Menard for coming in and really helping out, doing some big things, some things that had gone wrong with another organization to help out, and Frank jumped in. Our volunteer fire department jumped in, our Holbrook PD came in to help keep us safe, street barricades and there the whole night. So we want to just thank everybody. It was a fun event. It was a little warm, but it was fun. I only learned one lesson, was be careful bailing Terry Tafoya out. You might get thrown in jail for doing so. That was my only complaint. But I heard she made a lot of money though, so earned a lot of money. So, all right, a couple of things coming up, which is exciting. Northland Pioneer College is doing their groundbreaking ceremony for the student-built homes. So it's going to be right here behind the rec center. It's going to be on June 17th at 1 p.m. And we are excited about that. So come on out for the groundbreaking. It'll be great. It's going to be good for the city. It's going to be good for future workforce. So I'm excited they're coming to Holbrook. ADOT crews will be replacing the pavement along Navajo Boulevard starting on Monday during the evening. So expect some traffic impacts. Hopefully it's just at night. I don't remember the hours, but it's supposed to be nighttime work. And then on a fun community event, but also on a personal note, because part of my nonprofit Grow Arizona is doing it, but Grow Arizona was just offered a grant money to renovate the old Mr. G's yard sale. Mr. G's donating the building to the teen center. So Holbrook will be getting a teen center. And this Friday at 11 a.m. we're doing a renovation kickoff. So we've got hard hats for you and a sledgehammer. You come and help us take down a wall and renovating for the teen center. And we're hoping to have that teen center up and going by September. We're already working with different partners that want to come in and work with the youth. But this teen center is going to be fun because you're not coming to play video games. You can come relax and things like that. But it'll have a music studio in it, a little art studio in it, and also a small commercial kitchen, and then a retail center. So we're encouraging the students to come, relax, have a safe place, but then get creative. And then once you're creative and you find out you're good at something, great. We're going to sell it and make you entrepreneurs too. And then hopefully they can be our future business owners here in Holbrook. So that's this Friday at 11 o'clock. And we encourage any teenagers that want to come and show their support too. So that is all I have. So I will turn the time over to Vice Mayor Nelson.
So Mayor, that youth center is for teens, for 13 to 18? Or
It'll
what?
be like 14 to 17, or 18 if they're still in high school.
Okay.
But once they graduate out of
So
high
high
school.
school level kids.
Basically high school levels to start with, and we'll see how it goes.
Who will be manning that? I mean,
So
who-
Grow Arizona is a nonprofit.
So, but there will be an adult
Yes,
down there that
yes.
is, okay.
There will always be an adult. Not a 19-year-old adult either.
Can we
Or-
donate art supplies or
Yes,
anything?
when we get a little closer to that, we will be looking for some extra funding to, finish out like those art supplies and things like that too. And if there's any adults that wanna come teach classes, and wanna come share some of their skills. We've already had, our local resident, Jeremy Turley, few months back when we were talking about it, said, hey, you'd come help teach upholstery,
Oh,
do
wow.
furniture restoration, things like that. So we wanna teach these kids some skills and get creative. We got some creative youth, so we are excited about that, so, alright.
First of all, I wanted to agree with the mayor about how wonderful I thought the car show. I love that it was in the middle of the street. So many people came and were involved. The car show in the Old West days, I think we should just get better and better. I can't say enough good about how well that went. And the Tractor Supply is moving on the 20th. So the 18th and the 19th, they'll be closed. They'll be in their old store through the 17th, 18th, 19th, closed. And the 20th, they'll have their soft opening at their new building, and it's fantastic. I would like to give the biggest congratulation I can to the city and the crews that they've employed to clean up Arizona Street. How nice that looks. And those, I think they came from the Bread of Life mission, or at least some of them did. What a wonderful thing it is for them to have that employment, and how great Arizona Street looks, especially behind Safeway. And anyway, my applause to the city. The meals are continuing at the senior center every Thursday. And I have one little beef. The state law says that you shouldn't have to wait for a train on a highway for more than 15 minutes. 4 times this week, I have waited more than 15 minutes. It's only Wednesday. So Monday I waited 2 times, and then Tuesday I waited for 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Wow.
We were coming home from the valley, was it Tuesday? And it rerouted us before we even got to Payson to go to Winslow and to come this way because of the backup on the trucks.
Right, I know it was a brake problem, but it's just too common. It's, I think somehow as a city we need to address this issue, because it's just becoming more and more commonplace.
And I'm the one that lives on the other side.
No.
And that's all I had.
Thank you very much. Councilman Black.
In regards to the railroad thing, that we've been kind of getting together with the county, trying to figure a way out, but it's gotta be state and federal and everything else. It's a big project. If we don't get federal help, we're not gonna go anywhere, but something we gotta start working on now if we're ever gonna get something done. I mean, so hopefully we can find a path through there. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Wood?
I just wanted to say I love the car show. It was wonderful. It was just so professional, you know, like you'd seen some huge town or whatever, and I just really enjoyed it.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Tafoya?
I agree on the Old West Fest. It was really nice. I liked it down there because it's just, I mean, it's just more compacted. You see a lot more people. When it's at the fairgrounds, I mean, you see people, but you know, they're over here, so you're not, but down there, you're just run into somebody no matter where you went, whether you're walking down the street with the cars, or over there where they're playing cornhole, or in jail. I saw a lot of people, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. My son came down from Phoenix, him and his girlfriend and daughter, and they had a really, really good time. They really did have a good time. And talking about the train, I know at some point we had talked about a quiet zone for Holbrook. Has anything come about with that?
We'll let him.
I'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll let him.
Oh,
laugh
okay.
at it, so.
All right.
Perfect.
That's it.
Thank you.
Oh, and thanks for everybody's support getting me out of jail.
Okay, Councilwoman Pat.
Let's see here, a couple days ago, I was running through town, and almost every street I ran on, I saw the city workers cleaning the streets, so I was really impressed with that. It was pretty cool and the streets have been clean. As far as the Old West, I thought, I wasn't there. I was leaving town, but I saw how the roads were blocked out, and I thought that was really cool. It just made it more community centered. And I know of several people that came out of town to put their car in the show. So, yeah, next year's gonna be big, and we can make it big.
Appreciate that. And they are looking for a volunteer to do the races.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the one thing that was missing was the races
Yeah,
next
so-
year.
All right, Councilwoman Pacheco.
I think, although we did have those recent rains, and Buffalo did not get flooded, so there must be some drainage clearing or something must be going on, because Buffalo was not flooded, and we had a lot of rain.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Sullivan.
I wasn't gonna talk, I didn't have much, and then I wrote a bunch of stuff, so. We painted the carriage today at Hunt Park, so it's a bright red. There are some seating areas in there that I'm still trying to work on getting some tracks, so it won't splinter, and, hopefully, I'm gonna build it so it'll last longer with the use on the heat. If you guys will notice, we finally poured some gutters in front of Marlene Grace's house. We still got the radius that we gotta finish out on that, but that was poured today. We're gonna have a pour on Monday, on 13th, to start that curb. We're still working on cleaning up the recycling yard. We're kind of doing all hands on deck tomorrow, and we're gonna get that completely cleaned out for Carbon Utility to be able to move in. They're still projected first part of July for that, the main container to come in, so we're hoping to get that completely cleaned up, maybe throw some millings down, make it look really nice for them, and welcome them. So it's been a pleasure working with Jay already and Chris, and I hope it's just continues to expand. Next week, I am meeting with Navajo County and ADOT to figure out the raceway entrances and try to get on the same page. So, there's been a lot of talk going around, and nobody knows what we're actually doing. So we're gonna try to get that, working. We're finalizing agreements with, ADOT. Part of the big grant that we got for the apron this last year of $1 million, it was over $2 million. Some of that was actually, ADOT state transportation was gonna pitch in some of those funds as well, so we're working on finalizing those agreements. We worked with GWR Landscapes, and they came in and laser leveled the men's field. That's the same company that has helped the Men's Association with the golf course. So we're looking at trying to expand some of those partnerships with them. They do spray weeds, so actually I've asked them to come up with a proposal to help us spray weeds after we cut down the weeds, like on Arizona. Come in and hopefully they spray afterwards, and then maybe it'll keep them down a lot longer than every 2 or 3 months, especially with the rains. We met with Robbie about some of the things that he's got going on, future of Hewlett and those kind of ideas, and maybe coming back to you guys with some future MOUs that'll help out the schools. And then they're gonna be doing a lot of building, and an MOU set up with us would help them out a lot and make their projects go a lot faster. We are continuing to have damages at the splash pad. Just announcing it, people are flushing wipes or paper towels down the toilet, and when that happens, it's a nightmare over there. So if that does happen on a weekend or something, and we have to call people in, those bathrooms may be shut down for a little while until we could get that work. So I had to do that this last weekend. It was a really, really big mess, so just, please don't flush wipes down, or paper towels down there.
Even if it says flushable, don't flush them.
I just sent this out yesterday too. We are asking for bids, for companies to come in to help us recode our lift stations. That wasn't necessarily in our budget, but when, a couple of months ago, we had an ADEQ audit, and he suggested we get those done. It's kind of been on our task list for a long time. And that'll help our pumps go a lot longer once we do get the coating. So I'm looking forward to maybe bring those proposals to you guys to see if we can't get those done. And basically what it is our lift stations, the concrete walls will start eroding and all that falls into the bottom, and then our pumps start picking that up, and it's grit, and it'll cavitate our pumps, and all of a sudden our lift stations aren't working. So if we coat that, it'll help our pumps last a lot longer, and then we won't have to do as much routine maintenance on it. The rail, we are working with Navajo County and Chris Pastors on actually doing a rail study. Now, it might not totally involve the amount of time waiting on the rail and stuff, but I sent, we've been working with ASU Jet Centers, and they identified a rail consultant. We're gonna be meeting with them in the next couple of months, and coming up with some ideas on what we could do, quiet zones maybe, or expanding some railroad spurs, stuff like that. I've sent him probably 10 maps the last couple of days on that whole downtown area, so he can start working up some ideas. And like, again, it's not directly related to the timing of the railroad crossing and stuff like that, but when we start meeting with him, we'll certainly address those concerns. Quiet zone 2 is kind of like that. We looked into it. It's upwards of $1 million to dedicate a quiet zone through that area, because we want it quiet for the hotels and things like that. So we're hoping that we could start identifying some grants to help us out with some of those things.
So why is it $1 million?
There's a study where they have to have signage, certain signage. They have to have signage up the road, down or up the rail, down the rail, and certain signals have to be put in place before they can do it.
For the
Yeah.
signals.
There's a specific standard of, I guess signals is the best way I can
Because
say it.
Flagstaff did it,
Yeah.
in Kingman, right?
Yeah, yeah, and so it's mainly that, it's gonna be the study of where you have to put those specific signals, how far out can you put them, and those kind of things.
And they said you might have to start tapping into Joy Nevins and Bucket of Blood Street
Yeah.
as well, since they're just those little.
And then you almost gotta be careful, because then if you want quiet zone, then I think there's a limit on how fast the trains could go, which could slow down the
Be
trains
slow
even more.
down.
Be careful what you ask for.
Okay, make it speed through.
And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. All right, item number 11, submission of written petition for items not on the agenda.
There are none.
Item 12, executive session. A, the mayor and city council may convene into executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A3 and 4 with city legal counsel for discussion, consultation, and written instruction on separation agreement and general release. Wow, he is good, so. All right, let me.
I think she has to, does she have to go?
Do we have to make
Hi,
a motion?
1 second, please. All right, yes, we will, so we
Hi,
will,
Luke.
hi, we were just doing the motion, so we'll open the floor for a motion.
I make a motion that we convene into executive session at 7:17.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion